Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video number 3, I'm gonna share my this is gonna be called video what made me feel uncomfortable while at the center. In the previous 2 videos, I talk about the sexual harassment pyramid, about the people that actually run this place. And in this video number 3, where you're gonna just see pictures of the people that I interact with, I'm gonna try to blur their identity, but I'm gonna share the behaviors of these people in this ashram environment and how this sexual predator management or heads or bosses of this Sivananda Center affected the people that live and are permanent staff at this center. So the first person that I'm gonna talk about in this video, because in the previous video I did not quite mention what was disturbing me about this person. It's the Brazilian guy. I'm not gonna mention his real name, but I'm gonna put a picture of this person, or I call him also the tattoo guy, who was the person, young boy, 28 years old, who was running the ashram back in 2011. I don't know if he was running it in 2017, but I know he was still the manager, he was still there, so probably this person is still there. I don't know if he's still there, but I'm gonna talk a little bit about how to say, this guy was not exactly running the center. He was following orders of Prahlad, but also this individual had some behaviors that I will call disturbing. I don't know if that's exactly sexual harassment. That's why I didn't talk much about this dude in the previous video, but I'm gonna talk about his, I will call this disrespectful and making me feel uncomfortable behaviors and comments. So in the beginning, when I went to the center, there was this Miss Swami Ambika who left because of Prahlad, who was disturbing her or harassing her or stalking her. And now the center was run by this Brazilian 27 years old guy with a high school education who, as far as I understood, have a very strong dependency to drugs, heavy drugs. I'm not talking about marijuana. And also he was involved in orgies. And when I say that, I don't mean to upset anyone. This is what I know for sure. And so this person was doing a lot of disgusting intercourses with group of people before he got to this ashram, and he decided to be in brahmacharya, which means to not do sexual intercourses. So I didn't know much except what the people say in the ashram and who this person is. And honestly, all this information that I shared didn't really matter to me because, you know, everybody have their past, right? But there was one of this thing about this person. And a lot of people who have a drug dependency and don't go through a center for rehab, but they choose to go of those ashrams, they have these limby behaviors. Limby is straight up like bipolar people. He would act like a decent human being, and then after little bit he will be super down, super aggressive, super complaining. He will shout down, and particularly what made me feel very uncomfortable is that he will make sexual remarks, or he would make denigratory remarks about my body and some like humiliation things that talks about Milano, and he would make a lot of remarks related to sex and sexuality to me, which was making me feel uncomfortable. I don't know if you want to consider this sexual harassment or not, but I just felt not very, I would say, comfortable with that. That was not making me feel comfortable. The second weird behavior was that this guy, and in fact, I was there almost 3 weeks before this Prahlad guy came. So Prahlad came in June. Before Prahlad arrived at this center, so there was this Brazilian dude. He will walk behind me and just kind of like hurry me up and basically insinuate that I'm lazy and you're doing nothing, you're just talking, you better go ahead and do X. He would constantly like denigrate me with some comments or some screaming, or you're walking too slow, hurry up, are you still lazy, you talking, you doing. Basically he would treat me like I'm some little servant of his that hasn't done his chores. He was very verbally abusive. I will use this, and also denigratory in the ways that he was addressing me um, in this ashram. So I personally do not, I really tried hard to like this person, but he is just disrespectful. He was just disrespectful. I don't know how it's possible to like him. I also would say abusive, verbally abusive through denigration and putting it down, and also emotionally. Like if you have somebody walking behind you and calling you things and insinuating that you're lazy or you're doing nothing or you're this lazy co or something like that, this obviously will affect you, especially if it happens 10 times a day. So I completely dislike this person because of these behaviors, not because he's a drug addict, not because whatever he was doing, he was just not adequate, let's say. So this is about the Brazilian dude. I don't know if he meant to stimulate me or motivate me or whatever was thinking that he was doing. He was just being emotionally, verbally abusive, bullying me, and just making me feel really not welcome and not comfortable while I was doing my karma yoga there in 2011. He was on the side of the picture. He was teaching some classes. I would say he was good at presenting information. I could admit that. During the teacher training course in 2017, there was a bunch of people, girls around him, and he was very busy with his infatuation with Miss Nikila and all the abuse he was pouring on her. They were crying, fighting. You could see that he would abuse her and she would cry. She was not intellectual enough to explain what was wrong with his behavior, but long story short, he was busy abusing Nikila, and because of that, in 2017, I would say my interaction with him was minimal. He was teaching classes, I was listening the classes, and that was it. There was no interaction between us, and I was very grateful for that. And that would be at the end for this Brazilian guy. Now I'm going to talk about this person, Yanadev or Jean-Francois, who was pretending to be my friend and also sexually harassed me, and then switched to threatening me in the end of my karma yoga in 2011, and come and appear to bully me in 2017. So Jean-Francois, for some reason, the moment that I arrived at the center, there was this person who was Amish, and I would say I had some kind of sympathy for this guy. He was educated. The person who picked me up from the bus station when I come to Montreal from Quebec. He left the ashram so he did the teacher training and he left the ashram very soon. So he was the only, I would say, respectful guy that I met in this environment. Or one of the very few, if you want to, And then this guy, Yanadev, he acted like my friend. He will come and sit next to me and introduce himself and be kind of friendly with me, and just come and in the morning meditation always sit next to me and just stick to me, I don't want to say much, but he didn't ask for permission. He just stick to me there every morning. And also I'm in a new country. I don't know anybody. I'm in this place, is isolated from people. So at the beginning, I thought he was just a kind human being, and why not? Let's be friends. And so I thought that he was a kind human, that he wanted to be friends, and I was kind of grateful, But on the other side, he was always there with me, and he was not allowing me an opportunity to speak with other people. He was everywhere eating with me and all this thing. He was all over. He was everywhere. So in one side I like this person, on the other side it's like he was suffocating me with his constant presence and trying to show off around me everywhere I was going. And then his intense friendship lasted a few weeks while the teacher training course was going on, and particularly at the same time Prahlad was harassing me and stalking me. So I kind of felt like it's good that I have a friend that is a male. Just I kind of let this tolerate a little bit, and then soon after, this guy said to me that I could stay and rest in his cabin if I'm tired during the day after the karma yoga, which is the volunteering work, that he doesn't mind, that he's not even actually there. And this was kind of comfortable because the cabin was very close to the camp, and I could just lay down and have a small nap in the evening. And because I was working so much, that was very comfortable in the beginning. But then after about maybe a month and a half, one evening he came, and it was before the yoga class at 4. And I was like about to get up because obviously in the cabin there is one bed, and he's like, no, don't go. And he said he just wanna lay next to me and kind of like also sleep for a little bit. And basically, long story short, this guy started to try to touch me and try to be sexual with me. And I would just move his hands. Obviously, as you can imagine, I was not interested. I had a boyfriend back in Italy. I was engaged and whatnot. So I didn't want to be sexual with him. And then he pursued with continuing to try to stalk me with that and persist. And it's like, oh my goodness, you're shy. And I'm like, I'm not shy. I just don't want to do this. And basically, that was the end of our friendship, if you want to call it. He was angry because I didn't want to be sexual with him. And very soon after, Prahlad also was very angry because I was rejecting him. So he started to talk crap about me on the meetings and just make some remarks. And naturally, now everybody was against me, including this guy, Yanadev. And by the time that I was leaving, it was the end of the TTC, end of August. This guy Yanadev will come and break things next to me and threatening me. He would gonna tell me that he's gonna beat me or something like that. And basically some other girls come and told me that I better like just be quiet and obedient because this guy can come and rape me and nobody's gonna save me. They said to me, it's dangerous here, do not respond to him. So basically that was it, how this guy behaved. He never apologized for the physical threats or for the sending. I don't know if he sent other people. Maybe some people were concerned about me and just mentioned that. But this guy was behaving like that in 2017, and then in 2011, in 2017, he was the one who came and tried to intimidate me and just have these aggressive behaviors towards me. That's, again, if you don't want to be sexual in this environment, as you could see, people like this guy who are going there for over 20 years and being a staff at the Sivananda Yoga Center, they also feel entitled to request something like this. And if you refuse to do so, basically the consequences are not very positive, as you could see. Another person that I met, and I feel like I should talk about this person, it's Gabriel. Gabriel was the guy who was good looking, and we take the teacher training course together. I really like the guy. Yes, it was comfortable because he could protect me, but I'm not a person who wanted to hurry something sexual. It's not like I had this brahmachari thing and I cannot be sexual. I just like to know somebody before I go for it. Usually that's the best thing for me. So in 2017, Gabriel would be like friends, and then he would he would force sex on me. He would insist and he would make scandal and he would talk about being raped and how cruel I am that I am not letting him be sexual with me. and just like try to over sexualize me and just pressure me for sex. And soon after, when I said that I am not ready right now, it's been 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I don't like being pressured into sexuality. He said to me, because of that, well, he doesn't want to talk to me anymore. I am absolutely worthless. I am nothing. Basically, people who come to this ashram and they get involved with this pyramid of sexual favorisms. They also feel entitled receiving sexuality, and this was the case also in Gabriel. I don't know if it was the ashram environment and him interacting with these special gurus that make him like that, but he was also sexually, I would say, inappropriate with me. And in the end of this video, I would mention that there was one person that maybe two people that I met that I think were healthy. They were not sexually harassing me, but I think I should create another video about them separately. So this is about the behaviors of other males at this ashram. There was a lot of people who would try to make pictures and like touch me, touch my breasts, like when you work. And there is a lot of other people who were inappropriate, but I don't want to make this a total disaster. I'm just mentioning the people that I spent the most time with, or the one that make this extreme make me feel so uncomfortable, if you want to. So that's about this fake friends and like behaviors, how this sexual pyramid affects guys or male behaviors in this ashram. I will add also that Yanadev was he was a yoga teacher, obviously, and he was happily sleeping with the guests that come to this center because they were specially going for the sex with him. And he would tell me that they wanted him because he was a yoga teacher and they knew it's gonna be good, and that's why they wanted him. And he would be involved with different girls, Indian and whatnot, and these Indian girls will come and bully me because he's friends with me and they were feeling jealous or something. So this also add additional stress in me doing like a volunteering at this center. So that's about these experiences, about the people and how this sexual favorism schema affect males who are volunteering at this center. Also, there was another guy from, if I start to look the pictures, I would probably remember other story, but I don't want to make it so bad. But there was this other guy who was also protege of Prahlad, and he was half Italian, half Mexican. And he would just openly request for sex and just stalk me like this. And then I pull back as well. Just everything is around sex for some reason in this place. I don't know. People seem to be sexually frustrated or something there. But I remember this guy would try also to follow me and there at the camp and try to request things. So this is how when the bosses or when the managers of organization are sexual predators, it also subconsciously, because they have this meditation and there is hypnosis done through it, everybody try to subconsciously comply to their highest gurus and they copy their behavior subconsciously or consciously, I'm not sure, in order to get to show to these people their devotions. So basically the guys that are doing karma yoga with me, they would also copy the behaviors of this Prahlad or other gurus there that will verbally insult you or make sexual requests subconsciously to try to take part and be one of this special society of spiritually evolved people. So all of the males will have this same predator harassing behaviors. I don't know if it was consciously or subconsciously, but this was happening. So yeah, thank you guys for being here.